Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. The possibly last Trap Chat Live of 2022. We'll see how I feel next week. You guys know I'm a little wishy washy when I'm pretending to be on vacation. So we'll see what happens. But I am very excited to be here for another awesome Wednesday Wisdom edition of Trap Chat Live. Got another double header if you haven't noticed. Just full disclosure, I can't see anything. I have no idea what's happening. So I'm pretty sure they're both still on screen, but I don't have the right glasses on for my computer. So like everything is blurry. But I'm pretty sure that I brought them from backstage. So I have Nicole Roberts and Josh Rock here. I did that in alphabetical order. And it was very difficult for me to figure that out as well because they're both RO. And I'm like, RO, okay, what's next? Okay, RO, B. Yeah, I still do. So that's why you're last on everything, Josh, because
hey, I'm used to it.
Because alphabetical. But yes, Nicole, we're going to get into this, but she has this term coined unapologetically people first. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And I'm going to let her introduce herself a little bit more. But Nicole's an HR leader, also one of the co-hosts of Job Hunt Chat. And she hails from Cincinnati, Ohio. How cold is it there today?
It is 40 degrees today, but
warm.
We keep getting these alerts
that
it's going to go from 42 degrees tomorrow to 6 degrees following some rain. So we're anticipated to have like road shutdown, no power, you name it, by like Thursday night, Friday morning.
Fun times.
Time to move somewhere warm.
Yes. And then we have someone who's in a place that is extremely warm. If you're ice. And that is Josh Rock from a place in Minnesota he said no one knows about. So we'll just say St. Cloud because
St. Cloud, Sauk Rapids, exactly where I'm at right now. Yeah.
But basically snowed in, frozen, very cold, and
thus the hat.
Yes, and Josh is not only one of my good friends, but the other co-host of Job Hunt Chat, which comes via Twitter. So if you are on Twitter, then please not only follow the hashtag and then tune in every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, because when I tell you how awesome it is, and they'll share some of that as well. But Josh is a talent acquisition manager at Nuss Trucking and
Nuss Trucking Equipment. We sell Mack and Volvo trucks, big construction equipment, the stuff you played with as kids, those trucks and construction equipment. We sell that stuff.
Okay. Former healthcare recruiting leader. Exactly. But that's when I knew him as. But he's been there almost 2 years now, huh?
Yeah, 2 years. It's gone by fast. And for those that are complaining about their 40-degree weather in other parts of the United States, it's negative 13 last night. We're getting 6 to 9 inches of snow today, and we will hit negative 32 on Friday. So, hey, feel free to join us in balmy Minnesota.
But isn't that like wouldn't that be like not even a weather advisory, but isn't that like you have to just stay in the house? Like, can you even go outside when it's negative 32 degrees?
We just call it Wednesday.
I gotta know, do you wear shorts any time of the year?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm in a spring jacket at the hockey arena and it's 30 to 0 or 30 degrees inside. I do bundle up when it's negative 32. Thermals on, that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, okay. I may just for the sake of the people, wear shorts out in the snow. For interest. But aside from that, no, I'm not crazy like those people.
Okay, good. All right, let's jump in because I know that you guys are eager to finish out your days. Nicole probably needs to go into the craziness of the grocery store, especially if they're going to be shutting down road. She said, absolutely not.
Instacart is my BFF. Okay. They actually send you a report at the end of the year to let you know how I'm probably putting an Instacarter through college. And also, they said I've saved 71 hours of my life this year by using Instacart like 58 times or something.
That's
There's
awesome.
52 weeks in a year, and clearly I'm Instacarting at least once a week. So groceries, pharmacy, you name it, they bring it to me. It's amazing.
I love that. I love that.
Okay.
So
Well,
we're going to
I'm
talk.
stimulating the economy, Josh. Don't shake your
You
head.
absolutely are. People first, man.
That's right.
People
Hey,
first.
All the people.
When I do people first, it's me going into the grocery store and talking to the staff so I can steal them to come work for me. Always be recruiting.
Yeah.
You're taking my shine. I haven't asked one question yet. I knew this was going to happen.
This isn't your first rodeo with me.
No, it's not. So it's not. But I'm kind of feeling like I originally thought that Nicole was going to be on my side, and she was going to keep you. But you know what? I like it. I like it like this better. Actually, I like it.
Full-time job.
I'm. Yeah. Okay. So for people.
Back to it.
Yeah, I want to start with Nicole, because like I said, I do like your idea of unapologetically people first.
Yeah.
Normally when I see the word unapologetic, it's followed by combating some negative BS, like unapologetically, like eating chocolate, unapologetically sending my kids to school with peanut butter sandwiches when other people have allergies, unapologetically coughing in public and not covering my face, like things like that. But you're saying something that's actually empowering, like unapologetically people first. And in a profession that some would like to say, even though it has the title human, we aren't very good to humans. So where did that come from?
So I have really been an advocate of people first leadership, people first cultures, all of that for quite some time. And when the shift has happened from, it being HR to people operations or people services, you're seeing things all the time, but especially with COVID, right? We saw in blaring just display what companies' priorities were. And the ones that were people first, you saw it, right? Companies were doubling down on communication. They were doubling down on making sure that people felt supported and seen and appreciated. And do you have mental health benefits available to you? Do you have healthcare benefits available to you? Do you have time off that you might just need? And so it kind of started from there and then really just, blossomed. And I have always made sure that I've surrounded myself with people that have that same logic and mindset, because there are certainly two schools of thought, right? There's the one that are like, oh yeah, but we still have a business to run. Whereas I say, yeah, but if you take care of your people and they truly know that they're seen, they're appreciated, they're cared for, right? They will take care of your business in spades every single time. Like if you get those twisted, then you're always going to be catching up with your competitors who are over there taking care of their people.
Correct. I appreciate that. Now, were you always in HR, or did you transition into HR from something else?
So I, a whole long time ago, was a dual major in finance and accounting. And I switched to HR after taking a business law class. So I've been in HR for 20 years.
Nice. Yeah. And Josh, you've been recruiting for 100 years.
No.
What, 99?
Yeah, the grays may show 100 years, but I mean, come on. I've only been recruiting really 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, I've been in the space for almost 20. I started in recruitment advertising as a vendor to HR, and then transitioned after a layoff. I wasn't finding what I was looking to do or where I was at the time. And so I went to work for my clients, teaching them what I was doing as a vendor, but within their walls, giving them back control and the message and the engagement. And I've been doing it ever since.
So when I talk to other people, and for anyone who didn't see the last time I talked to Josh, where I was actually interviewing him and we weren't partners on a panel or a webinar, we talked about, one of the questions we were asking was about how did you get into recruiting? And everyone else said, it just kind of chose me. But it sounds like you chose to do this job. Like, I need to know more about that. How did that happen?
So I've long had a vision once I actually decided what a career was going to be. Yeah, 100 years. Thanks, Christina Vineyard. Appreciate that, buddy. I was waiting for her to chirp in because I was chirping last week. I knew it was coming. The only thing that I forgot and I couldn't find here locally to piggyback off of last week's conversation was Little Debbie's Christmas trees. I went to 4 stores and I could not find my Christmas cakes.
Sorry.
Do you want to know where I found them? Amazon.
I went to the stores.
It's not too late. You can always order.
I may have to order some, but to go back to the question at hand about how did I, choose this? When I figured out what my career was going to be, when I actually became an adult and got out of just over broke job, I decided that everything that I was going to do had to have 2 benefits. One, a business benefit, keep the lights on, keep me working, contribute to the organization, but then also a social community connection, giving back to the people around me, and going through that as a vendor and finding the problems of HR and the job seekers, creating that medium of connection. I said, why not go into that and actually make that easier for both sides? And so I went in and started changing processes and finding ways to do that for those companies. And lo and behold, became a recruiter.
Very nice. And I like that you said that there were 2 sides to your decision in choosing a job, and that being, what's it going to do for yourself and for the business, and then what is it going to do for the community? And I guess we'll just skip right to that part of what you guys collaboratively do for the community, not only unapologetically putting people first, but also giving back. So anyone who doesn't know, can you just give them an overview of Job Hunt Chat and how that came to be?
Well, I brought Nicole into it a few years ago, but how I got into it, it was a job advice chat on Twitter years ago, going back about 13 years.
Nice.
Weekly, just like we are on Mondays. Was started by Rich DiMatteo, also known as @CornOnTheJob. He started it and was finding a way to give back to the community. Folks like Jessica Miller-Merrill have been moderators, Kate Madonna Hines, the list goes on and on. I brought in our good friend Chris Fields from time to time. Miss him dearly. Brought in, obviously, Nicole. I've brought in Jen Novak out of Florida, Mary Faulkner, and more, and just continued this process of providing job-seeking advice, bringing in HR professionals and job seekers, regardless of industry, regardless of locale, and bring those audiences together, talking about where the misses are, where the connections can be, resume advice, salary negotiation advice, conflict in the workplace, you name it. No topic is out of bounds, but find a way to bring those 2 parties together. And I'm lucky enough to have Nicole join me in rotation and in partnership and continue Job Hunt Chat.
So while we were backstage, we were talking a bit about some of the things that have been discussed this year on Job Hunt Chat. What would you say are like the top 3 job seeker concerns this year? And I'll throw that to Nicole, and Josh, you can jump in if you want. Wait, are you bringing out the poll already?
I was like,
no, we're gonna air the job seeker grievance. So I brought out the Festivus poll, also known as my hockey stick.
Okay. Yes.
So go ahead, Nicole.
So number 1 is the advice, love it or hate it, when people are, how do I beat the ATS? I would say that's the number 1 thing that people are asking about. I know, right? I have the same reaction, I promise. So number 1 is beating the ATS. Number 2 is when they are actually ghosted by employers. I mean, you just feel for people, right? I mean, my point of view and my philosophy on communication when people are in search is the second that you know that you're not moving forward with that person, you let them know, because they're still looking for their, next right opportunity, right? And so communication should be no longer than every 2 days. Even if you don't know something, you tell them you don't know something. I mean, it's back to that people first, right? And so we hear people tell us about, hey, I applied to this job 3 months ago and they just let me know that, I wasn't a fit, or I never heard anything.
Yeah.
Josh, what do you think about some others?
Follow up, a way to follow up with the companies. I mean, I asked a job seeker that was on the chat just this past Monday. I said, he said, I'm getting ghosted by employers. And I said, have you tried to follow up with any? And he said, no, I don't know how. I don't have a tool to follow up. And so that's one where the job seekers don't always know where to go. If you only post your stuff on Indeed and don't give any sort of contact, means, how are they supposed to follow up with you? So my phone number is in everything that I do. I don't care if somebody calls me. If I don't understand or know what the phone number is that's calling, I can always send it to voicemail, but I can choose to pick up the phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. And that's one of the things that, so let's start with the first one. Okay, everyone, there's no such thing as beating the ATS, the end. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because my pressure is going to go up and I already can't see. And we don't want blind and rage, because I'm going to be the same color as this shirt I have on. So there's no beating the ATS. Ghosting. Now, as a recruiter, and I'm sure Josh knows this too, it happens both ways. And one, I don't remember what week it was. I don't even know if it was one of the last two, but we talked about ghosting, and it was someone from the audience, I believe, and I apologize if I don't remember who said this, but they gave a different perspective on ghosting. It might have been you, Josh, that some people are not actually ghosting you. They just aren't interested. Like they just aren't interested. And I got that. But I think when we think about ghosting, we're thinking of someone who has, started to develop that relationship, where we've gone back and forth. We have done a phone screen. We've done an interview. We've emailed back and forth. And I think that ghosting, I think that's when we call it ghosting, when it's not that common, but sometimes schedules are being changed over and over again. And a person just was like, forget it. They're like, I'm not dealing with it, and they move on to something else. So I do think that part's ghosting. But if you've reached out to a job seeker multiple times and they've never responded, they didn't ghost you. They
just don't care.
Right, they just don't care. Or if they applied to a position and it took you a month, or even 2 weeks, or even 3 days in some instances, depending on the position, to contact them and even express that you are also interested in finding out more about how they might be a fit for the role. Mm-hmm. They didn't ghost you. They probably found another job. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's when those lines of communication have been open and have been going back and forth that I think it does ghosting. And I think I want job seekers to know that too, because they think ghosting, they submitted their resume and they're like, I got ghosted. I'm like, no, you submitted your resume. Mm-hmm. You did not get ghosted. Yeah. But was that you, Josh, or was that somebody else?
Yeah, that was me. I see it all the time. I mean, I will, I'll put something out there and, or candidates apply, and one, they won't even know that they applied. They're not even tracking who they're applying to. They're just spamming the masses to see if somebody will bite. And they're like, you're calling from what company again? And what role? I'm like, I'm calling from Nuss Truck and Equipment. You applied to my diesel tech position or whatever, role it was. Just following up to know more about your story. Yeah. Oh, and what does it pay? I'm like, talk about going from zero to marriage in 2 seconds. Well, I'm like, I'll tell them, but I don't. And many times one of our stories is we have a short apply. All they do is they give me a name, email, and a phone number.
Okay.
I don't even see the resume. And so when they're asking me what am I going to get paid? I'm like, I know nothing about you. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm going on a blind date and they want to marry me right out of the gate. I'm like, okay.
Well, you're awesome. Why wouldn't they?
Try.
So one of our TA friends says, Wendy says, not sure you have to communicate that often, every 2 days. That might be too much for some high volume positions, but you need to be sure you tell candidates when they can expect to hear from you and follow up when you say you will. Absolutely. And it's that follow up is also setting expectations. Thank you for pointing that out, Wendy. Really do appreciate that. And again, that goes both ways. It goes for job seekers and it goes for people in TA, people in HR who are part of the hiring life cycle. I mean, sometimes we need you guys, Nicole, to be that liaison because we never hear from the hiring manager or,
That's right.
especially recruiters who recruit for each other, that recruit for HR and that recruit for recruiters. Like we're not much better. Our behaviors are the same as, the high volume tech and, retail and trucking and healthcare, like we're doing the same things to candidates. It's across the board. And we got to do a better job at that, of putting people first. All right, let me see what Christina says. Hold on. Oh, if there has been, okay. If there has been no I'm looking at my good eye. If there has been no communication, then yeah, that's not ghosting. No. Agreed. They apply through a third party site and then get thoroughly
Yeah.
No, so here's the thing. I saw that recently. Is that new? Because you guys know I'm a consultant, so and I haven't worked inside of a large company since June. So, but I've been seeing that like third parties posting a job, but like posting them to, a website, to an external website, and it not be, and you think you're applying for that website, and then it says, actually, this job's for that. Like, when did that start?
So I can tell you, because I have very recent experience with this.
Okay.
There is a company called Talent Pair out there that is posting as a third party. There is Above Board, which somebody's going to have to convince me that's not fake, because it's always a confidential company with some job, and they just list the industry and a little bit about it, but they all look the same. But it all says it's from Above Board, and you have to make a membership in order to even learn more about the position. So I'm going to need somebody to do some research on that.
Above Board. All right, I'll look at. I have some time.
There's another one. What's it called? I'm just gonna look at my email.
Okay.
Amen to Miss Christina for putting this post out here about the pay scales on Indeed and others. They are completely askew oftentimes. Right. It's an estimate based off of data that they have. Well, guess what? Your data is wrong, and candidates think it's gospel. It's not. I always tell my candidates that I do job offers based on equity. I look at what do you bring to the table. Yeah. What you see on a website isn't always factual. It's like what you see on TV isn't always truthful. So wait until you talk to me, and then we'll give you the details. Once I explain that to them, they're like, "Oh, that actually makes sense. That's a good way of making a job offer." Shocking. And they stick around. They know that when they come work for me, that I'm going through this with them, that I'm going to do it with every hire after them. So they know that somebody gets brought in isn't going to be higher or lower than them based on what they bring.
Okay.
Well, and I want to comment a little bit. I mean, since, Josh got out the poll and we're airing grievances and whatnot.
Yeah.
Here, hold on.
No, you got to put it, just leave it there.
Something that has been pet peeve or what have you over the years, being in that leadership role, right, is hiring managers that ask me to post a job confidentially because they don't want to tell the person they're posting their job. And can I just ask for my grown-up Christmas wish list?
Yes.
Can we all please stop being so afraid of having a conversation with somebody that we want to post a job confidentially rather than have a conversation with somebody about their performance, or we're posting a job confidentially for some other reason? Like, there's very few reasons that exist why you would want to post somebody's job confidentially. And if it's that big of a deal, use an agency. Don't do it through your own, through all these, I mean, first of all, people still see them in your ATS, so you're not that slick. And second of all, I mean, come on, plus, if you post every job in this templated fashion, and
Oh my God.
anybody in your organization has seen your job postings before, just because you copy and pasted that into a confidential job does not mean they didn't figure out that that is their job that got posted. And P.S., this actually happened at a company that I was part of. When their Indeed alerts are turned on because of their super specific type of role, and they get an Indeed alert for their job, they're going to call you and ask you about it.
No doubt.
But good news, you were looking to replace them and they were looking to leave. So, like, let's just stop wasting everybody's time and have real conversations. And likewise, when you decide that somebody's, not a good fit and you're not going to move forward with them in the recruiting process, don't send them some template that shows that you didn't care about them enough to give them any real feedback. Like, we can't be so afraid that we're going to get sued. We're going to, it's going to get copy and pasted and put on Reddit, right? Because P.S., it's going to anyways.
Yes.
So have that respect for the person. So a friend of mine just even this morning, she was like, well, so-and-so doesn't want me, to be part of their team. She'd done the interview, whatever. And I said, oh, why is that? And she goes, well, based on the email I got, something about them being a team. And I said, oh, what does that have to do? And she's like, no, I just got this templated, thanks for applying, thanks for interviewing with us, whatever. And she goes, I could have really appreciated to have some real feedback about, why I didn't. And I told her, I said, some people are so uncomfortable with conflict or so afraid that they're going to get sued that they just can't be real with people. And they can't, it's that whole clear is kind. Be clear, tell somebody, hey, just so you know, you didn't show up well in the interview. You weren't prepared. You didn't have the skill set we were looking for. I interviewed somebody who I'm still friends with as a recruiter for a company that I used to work for. And I just called him and I was like, hey, man, today's not the day because we need somebody that has this other skill set, but I want to stay in touch and I want to help you. And maybe we can work together in the future. That's way better than, hey, we really appreciate your time and you're super talented, but we're going to go in another direction. What does that even mean?
It doesn't allow people to get better at the interviewing part or better at it. So, as you guys know, career coaches are catching a lot of flack this year. I feel a lot more than they have in previous years. They're catching up to recruiters and HR, to be quite honest. And how to yes, the poll is out. The poll. They're catching
the poll's up.
But the career coaches that I know and that I lean on, actually one is on here right now, Christina. There's a few others like Adam Karpiak, and other folks who do it as a part of their job, because we're recruiters and we coach. And I know, Josh, you coach people you are a hockey coach as well. You coach people through their job search. And, there's been countless times I have told someone, I've spoken with, I got in their resume and it was garbage, but I know who they are, or, I've read between the lines and I said, well, let me talk to them. And they came across much better. Mm-hmm. And I gave them an opportunity to say, hey, listen, I want to submit you to the hiring manager, but here are the things you need to do. Here are the things you need to take out, to add. Here are the things you need to fix before I do that. Right. And the number of times that you get thanked for that, and that's not why you do it. You do it because you want people to put their best foot forward. And to hear some other folks, other recruiters, say, oh, why did you do that? Now they're going to get a job somewhere else. Okay. I don't begrudge anyone a job. The key is to get that person a job.
Right.
I guess that's unapologetically putting people first. Mm-hmm. And even if they don't take the job, that it's only one person. This is what I tell people: only one person's getting that job anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
but
right.
You treat one person good.
Yep.
That could lead to you getting contacts with 5, 6, even one other person that could fill 2 jobs. So let's not be selfish and let's not do these things. So there were some comments going back to pay, and I do want to touch on those very quickly.
I love also though that you said that you had a conversation with them and told them what they needed to be fixed instead of editing their resume and them having no idea and moving it on. I've known people that they're like, oh yeah, I'll work up their resume. And I'm like, well, what did they learn though by you doing that?
Well, I'm going to, again, I'm not making an excuse, but that was a third party practice, especially starting back in the day when we were, I started recruiting in 2000 and it was high volume and it was like the tech boom, like the .com boom.
Yeah.
And it was difficult. It was a lot of competition. So yeah, we were editing people's resumes and sending them to clients because we knew what the client wanted. We knew what the resume needed to say. So that's a different, that, like I said, that has been a third party practice. I don't work third party anymore, so I don't know if that still happens. But even when I'm consulting and I'm representing my track recruiter and giving candidates to an organization, I will still do that. I won't do their resume for them, but I'll say, hey, I need you to fix this. And then, I give advice on what to do in the interview. Like when you're talking to them, make sure you say this before you go in there. Know who this company is.
Don't.
Listen. I worked for okay. All I'm gonna say about that is I worked for BAE Systems for 8 years. My longest job, and loved it there. But even employees called it BAE. And I'm like, we are not BAE Systems and we are not BEA, and apologies to anyone who's dyslexic, but like BEA is a whole different company. It's WebLogic. I don't even know if they're still around, but we were BAE Systems. And they're like, well, what does that mean? Isn't it just BAE? I'm like, no, you don't work for BAE. Well, some of us do. Some of us do. Anyway. Christine is right. According to Wendy, that's why you need to be sure you're putting your own info out there. As a recruiter, you need to talk about salary early and often. Agreed.
The first conversation, every person I talk to when I'm interviewing, we talk about it. I bring it up.
Yeah.
Post the range on the job.
Yeah.
And
so
then
how do you feel about ranges?
Your very first conversation. That should not be anything that's earth-shattering any longer. Just post the range. Because you don't want people to apply for a job that's not within their range, right? Like, why would you want to not have respect for people's time, either on the company side or the candidate side? Like, just post the range. And if you don't know what the range is, do your homework and figure it out. You don't just post a job and then create your market range based on what people are asking for. Well, I guess that's what people want to make for that job. Like, no, do your homework.
Yep.
Yes. So this another good point. Interview feedback is hard. It's not always a fear of being sued. I did high volume recruitment for a long time, and you just do not have the capacity to give meaningful feedback to every candidate. Higher you go on the ladder, though, the more meaningful the feedback should get. So here's
Wendy's spot on.
Yes.
Wendy is spot on. Being a former healthcare recruiter, when you're getting 140,000 applications a year, there is not enough time in the day to reach out to every single candidate and tell them why you're personally declining them. You just can't.
Right. Again,
how far in the interview process, though, Josh, do you think is worthy of a real conversation and not a template when they're rejected?
That's an awesome question.
Thanks.
So I would say second level. I mean, phone screen is like an initial conversation, right? It's speed dating. You're seeing if there's something after the second layer above that, or the next layer above that, where you're actually having a meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
That's definitely where you can do that. Yeah. I mean, when I was at Fairview, like Wendy was working at Sanford, we were doing 9,000 hiring transactions a year.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's the hiring. That's not even the people who didn't make it to the hire. That tells you the volume that these organizations are working through. You'd bring in 2 to 3 candidates in the final interview process, so it's a funnel. But when you get to that point, go through that second layer, have some sort of feedback that you can provide. I know, like in LinkedIn, or on Indeed, when I'm declining candidates, I have to give a reason.
You do.
You don't have to. It's nice to put it there. One, it's for Indeed's data, not necessarily for the candidate. Be nice if they got that, but they don't. And it's try to give it where you can. I do it personally. Whenever I decline a candidate that I've connected with, actually, I try to tell them, hey, here's why we're not moving you forward. Give them something to go on. I even offer resume advice if they want it. Hey, if I can't hire you, What I can do is I can give you ways to improve your resume to land a role somewhere else.
Right.
Good karma.
Ooh. Now this is a question.
No.
I think this is a whole webinar.
I use it a lot.
This is a whole webinar.
Yes.
I think this is a whole webinar. Christina, put a pin in this, please. I know that you're not my assistant. But like,
I want to have a
before
battle
anyone
royale
else
with
steals
all of
it,
us.
Christina, this is a webinar for 23. Like, we're doing this. Is dating marriage? So we're just going to hold on to this. Is dating marriage the only analogy we have for a recruiting process? I like that. And for me, a short answer from me, or war. Jesus, yes, the talent war. For me, it shoots and ladders. That's I think that's the most. If anyone who is our age has ever played the board game Shoots and Ladders, and you don't quite understand the complexities of the recruiting and HR processes, Shoots and Ladders. It's a good game to think about.
So, Christina, since I know you're listening and you're loving the stuff that I put out there for you, the analogy that I use actually is I'm a candidate's dating or dancing partner.
Dancing partner.
Dancing partner. When I'm hiring mechanics, nothing makes them laugh more when they hear a creepy dude on the other end of the phone saying, "Hey, I'm your dancing partner through the process."
Walk away.
Yeah.
Which one was that, Emma or Matthew?
Emma.
Hi, Emma.
What happened?
She stood here and then here and then here and then here trying to get my attention. And I was like, this is live. Walk away.
Teenage children.
Girl, if you don't do, she wouldn't ask me if I wasn't here. So why?
So
Emma, go play.
If you don't do whatever you need to do, I promise it can wait.
Yeah.
So this has. I want to get to the holiday fun part, and I want to put a pin in that, and I want to use, and I'm going to put myself first. I never do, but I'm going to put myself first. New rule. I'm putting myself first. Bring out the poll. So we've been talking about some things we're going to leave in 22, but I've got some pandemic stuff. Or some pandemic people feelings, again, to borrow from Nicole's moniker, unapologetically people first. There are some things that I want to take into 23, like that I want to continue. And one of your daughters showing up in the camera is one of those things. Like, I want to bring back people, relax, like, calm down. Like, it happens. Like, that was like, and this was even, remember it was on the news. It was like on CNN, it was like BBC. And she's like, comes in and she's like,
yeah.
And the mother comes and like grabs her out of the thing. But like, that was awesome. That, and I am not a cat. Like,
if it wasn't her, it was going to be the cat. Somebody was gonna Zoom bomb or dive bomb or whatever.
People,
yeah.
So to all the folks who have, or who are still working remotely, but they have, really kind of tightened their reins on, the regular things that go on in your home. And I'm not talking about anything that's like outrageous. Like I was on a webinar one time, and the fire alarm in my condo, building went off. And I was just like, well, I gotta go. But I'll be back. Like you can, like those things you can't help. But yeah, like I don't mind. Like I kind of miss some of my little what I call my little coworkers. I kind of miss them. You just sit there like, what's going on?
I got two right back here. I can bring them in, but
yeah. But I mean, like for like little kids who don't have that kind of thing, or even for like if you have a sick child and that you need to go attend to them, go do it. Yeah. I saw someone complaining the other day. Like I really do feel like LinkedIn has become a cesspool. Like I'm over it. No, and I think people are now like some of the stuff that we used to joke about and like be kind of like matter of fact about, like, and they were our experiences, but we weren't actually punching down on people, like. Nor were we making light of things. We were just talking about them in a humorous way. Like, you're not going to believe this. Like, stuff that only happens to me, like my hashtag recruiter problems. Like, my God, like these folks are kind of odd. But yeah, like someone's complaining because there was like someone eating a salad, like made a whole TikTok about eating a salad during an interview. Like, come on. Like,
maybe your interview was during their lunch, and rather than not
no,
talking to you, they were like,
that's what they say. Like, oh, a
eat my
VP
food.
of people, says, hey, we've got this going on and this going on. This is the first time I've had a chance to eat. Is it okay? Is it okay if I eat my salad? The person said, yeah. And then criticize the way they like talked about they're stabbing this, like not only were they aggressively stabbing their salad. I'm like, so they don't eat properly for you? Like,
is it okay if I eat during this? Yeah, but don't even worry about it because you're going to be famous on TikTok later.
Right. Like, were you? So yeah, so I want to bring back the, the relaxing, like people, like the everyday stuff. Like, I want to bring that back. I want to take that into 23. I don't want that to go away. Yeah. What about you, Nicole?
Well, it's funny that you say that because usually my daughter would make a cameo on any team calls. You mention it, right? Like my teams always get to know my kids, but
yeah,
she wasn't decent to come on camera, so I didn't introduce her to everybody. But yeah, I want to see. I personally love it when kids and pets bomb a video call. They used to say Zoom bombing, but now people are using Meet, Teams, whatever. But yeah. It's the highlight of my day when pets interfere. Mm-hmm. So yeah, bringing your, your family, your kids, your life, because, more and more people are working remote and I don't want to see just a bunch of blurred backgrounds. I totally understand if somebody's in a environment where they don't have a dedicated space and maybe they're in their kitchen and maybe they don't feel comfortable. But if the reason that you're blurring your background is because you're kind of scared to share yourself with the people that you're on the call with, like that hurts my heart. Like, I hope that people, look, you think that I talk about nothing but leadership. It's literally what's on my bookshelf. It's just me. Like, I live, eat, breathe this stuff. This is what I do. This is, and there's like a bunch of stuff about pets over on this side and then pictures of my kids down here. So, my life is on this bookshelf. I don't hide it, right? Once again, the unapologetically, right? Like, I'm not going to apologize for the things that interest me. And I hope that people continue to feel comfortable sharing themselves with others.
I like that. Yeah. Yes. Share yourself. Be authentic, as they say.
I got mine. I got my hockey jersey in the back, but
I thought you were going to wear a hockey hat, but I am excited that you wore. Oh, he just went for it.
Oh.
Okay. Now I'm on brand.
Now you're on. No, but I like the Santa hat too. But now we're all,
Yeah, this is brand. I've gone to HR conferences and not be wearing a hat or a hockey hat. And I actually had somebody come up to me and say, wait, you're Josh? I couldn't really tell because I normally have a hockey hat on. Oh. Hey, following the brand. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, this feels much better than that itchy Santa hat. So, okay. But what am I bringing to 23? I'm going to change that just a bit. Okay. I don't want to bring something in, with me into 23. What I want to see a return of, humility. I want to see a return of humility in corporations. I want to see a change of humility in our candidates. Because guess what? We've seen expectations rise. Some that are able to be met, some that don't even meet what a company can do for a candidate. I see companies, their expectations are too high on what they're looking for, or they're trimming back because, we've got all this money to spend. We're going to bring on all these people. Well, their business can't handle it. Now we're getting into layoffs.
Yes.
So get rid of all that garbage. Let's get back to humility. Let's get back to being people again.
Yeah, spelled correctly.
Yeah, there you go. Nice work. On both sides.
Jesus.
You did well. Spell check. Perfect.
It's not that. I just wanted to make sure.
I know she can't. Which cheaters are you looking through?
I just, you know what? There we go.
There you go. Unapologetically, vision.
It's the astigmatism. I should have different glasses for the computer reading and now driving. I am 46. There, that's why. That is why.
I'm not far behind you. I feel your pain. I got my contacts in, so I feel you. But yes, that is my big one for 23 is return to humility on both sides, both the corporations and the candidates. Because you know what? I'm here to give opportunity. I'm here to elevate my companies, but I need both parties to play with me, both parties to dance to get to that done.
Okay. Now my face feels naked, so I got to put it back on. Yeah,
please keep your face dressed.
Yes, I do need to keep my face dressed. That's very offensive. All right, so I'm going to jump into I can't even say the fun part because I've been having a ball this entire time. Could go on for longer, but like I said, I know you guys have to get back to your days. So maybe we'll do a part 2.
Anytime.
But before we shift into the holiday fun and the humbug, as I like to call it, when is the next job hunt chat? Are you having one on Monday, or do you wait until the new year?
We're gonna wait till the new year. I'm giving myself and my moderator friends the week off. Okay. We do that periodically throughout the year. We try not to. We try to go each and every week when and where we can. Yeah. We've been doing it for so long. It's kind of a staple. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll be off next week, and then we'll jump right into it, right in the weeds. I think it's the 2nd of January, that Monday. Yeah. And start providing advice once again.
All right, and folks can always just check the hashtag for the
check the hashtag Job Hunt Chat on Twitter. For anybody who's listening and wants to have their company featured and talk about how to get a job within their company, we'd be happy to host that conversation. Bring your TA leader, bring in your CHRO, your VP of people, your recruiters into the conversation. We'll talk about what it takes to do that. I was talking with one organization just a few weeks ago. They're a prominent electronics brand. I'm not going to say who. You may have to go back through the Job Hunt Chat thread to find out who that is. But we're going to talk to them about what it takes to get a job at that organization. It is a big player in the video gaming industry. We'll leave it. That's your tea.
Okay. So the recruiters on here will have the answer before we log out. Just so you know.
I was like, that's fine. And start your research.
Yeah. Yep. But I will take any if it's healthcare, if it's transportation, anybody who wants to talk about how to get jobs within their organization, I'm happy to have you guys on as guest co-moderators with us and talk about your company and how to get a job there.
All right, great. All right, holiday time. All right.
There we go.
So I feel like we have, I know you gave yours last week, but I do want you to restate it, Josh. Your holiday advice for folks who are looking for job seekers, for folks who are looking for a job right now.
Yeah. One, don't stop. I mean, I'm still interviewing. I'm still scheduling interviews. Yeah. There's that. Maybe we'll bring out the Festivus poll to talk about that in just a second. No. But yes, continue to apply, continue to refine your resume, send it out, send follow-ups. Recruiters are still working. We may take a little bit of days off between, Christmas and New Year's, but that doesn't mean things are going to stop. Talk about your search with friends and family over the holidays. If you go visit a local pub, tell people that you're looking. You never know who's going to hire or who they can introduce you to. Don't be afraid. Share that. That's why you're looking. So
yes.
Also, to echo on that, take advantage of your network, right? We have 5,000 connections on LinkedIn or something like that. So you have not only your expanded network, but everybody has their own personal board of directors, right? They have their own.
Oh, I like that.
Their own group of people that are like, man, that's my core people, right? Mm-hmm. I was laid off last Monday, and guess who the first people that I reached out to were?
Your board of directors.
My core personal board of directors. Yeah. And guess what? I am interviewing with 2 different organizations. Neither one of those jobs were posted anywhere. So it is truly, I said this on Twitter, I think the other day, it doesn't matter how amazing you are if nobody knows about you. It is. It's not that, oh, it's not who you know. It's not what you know. It's who you know. It is a lot of who you know, because if people don't know about you, they can't know how amazing you are.
Yes.
You have to get out of your comfort zone. I'm an introvert. Look, card carrying. And,
Are you?
Oh yeah. See me in public
Wow.
sometime. It's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Card carrying introvert, right? But I have my people, and
Yeah.
I really, really treasure genuine connection and connect with people, really, truly connect with people. I am not good at superficial connection. Anybody that's ever tried to connect with me that way will tell you it probably didn't go well, but genuine connection, I'm here for it. I always want to help people. I always want to give back. But when it comes to when you are in a job search, it's in our DNA to help other people.
Yes.
So don't be embarrassed. It happens to all of us. And yeah, I mean, reach out, because it's funny because, you know, you always say like, oh, it was a blessing in disguise and whatever. It actually wasn't. Nobody wanted to get.
No, that's right.
Don't say that. Don't tell anybody that. But I mean, the opportunities are really cool and really exciting. And I would have never known about them had somebody not been like, hey, my good friend Nicole is doing all this great stuff. And coincidentally, she's a free agent right now. You know, I want to recommend her for the opening that I know that you have.
Yes. Anybody who's listening, who is a job seeker, or anyone who's been recently laid off, please listen to that. Take that advice. And I'm telling you this as someone who did not, who was ashamed, who didn't know, like, because I never stopped doing, like, outside of, you know, my personal board of directors who were kind of, you know, who knew that I wanted them to not share that information with anyone else. Because for me, I was like, I'm embarrassed. Like, I wasn't track recruiter yet, but, you know, like, I was Kirsten, and I'm, you know, people, like, I get people jobs, like, how am I going to do this? And it wasn't until, you know, very early in the layoff, someone reached out to me who I had worked with before. They were a former vendor who puts on job fairs, and they had started their own, you know, cleared, targeted fair, like invitation only, and asked me to come speak to the job seekers there. And I was like, before I agree, like, I need to have a conversation with you. I was like, well, you know, are they really going to listen to me? Are they going to take me seriously? Like, I don't have a job right now. And it wasn't just that person. They were like, what? Like, but I see, you know, it's like, but I see you online, you know, like, because I didn't change anything. Like, I was still giving, you know, I was still sharing, I was still giving advice, but I wasn't doing anything for myself, you know, and people need to know that. So I say all that to say, like, you have to, and I tell people, make yourself discoverable, but it's not so much to just have a LinkedIn profile and be active. Like, be active for the things that you need. Like, if you need a job, be actively looking for a job and let other people know you're actively looking for a job. If you're actively hiring recruiters, you know, be actively, tell people that you're actively hiring. Use the little, you know, LinkedIn banners or whatever they call, what they call those frames or whatever. Use them.
Yeah.
Let people know. Like, and again, I think that maybe things have changed, or maybe just I never got the memo. But yeah, like, when I was there, like, I was embarrassed. Yeah, I was like, oh God, I don't not being laid off was like, oh, you know, like, you're a pariah. You did something wrong, and that's not true. All right. So what about holiday advice for HR leaders and TA leaders?
For me, take a break. You can still work. You can still look at candidates, but step away from the computer a little bit. Take time with your kids. If you've got them, take time with your pets, take time with your friends, your family, whatever. Things will naturally slow down just a little bit. You don't have to walk away completely. I'm not going to walk away completely. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm not away completely.
No, I don't believe in that.
I know. Hey, that's my poison. That and Diet Mountain Dew.
You'll get there.
Stuff will kill you.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to die eventually. Might as well enjoy it. Hey, I worked in healthcare. Yeah, I get it. But, that's my one poison.
I'm drinking tea today for anyone who was wondering.
Oh.
I have water in here in my Norris Lake tumbler.
Very nice. All right, take a break. What about you for other HR leaders? What do they need to do during the holidays? What's your advice?
Expect somebody's going to ask you about W-2s. Starting off, why not put out some proactive communication about them?
Ooh.
Tell people to update their W-4 before the end of the year so their tax information is accurate, address accurate, all good things, right? It hasn't been that long since I've been a practitioner.
Right. Marital status.
Yes. Update all of those things. It should not need to be shared or explained, but once a year at least, look at your beneficiaries and make sure an ex-spouse is not one of them, unless there's some not judging reason that person is your primary beneficiary. One thing that I always did, when I was the HR manager or HR director or whatever, and I was the person that was doing that communication at the end of the year, hope you all have a great year. Double check your W-4, double check your beneficiaries. Okay. It's just a quick thing that people can do that you just keep in mind, like, hey, once a year, make sure that you're going in and doing that.
All right. Proactive communication, HR leaders, TA folks, and even HR folks, take a break too. Yeah. Take a break, give yourself some space, and do some things that you enjoy doing. All right. Favorite holiday movie besides Die Hard.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Die Hard has left, like, Die Hard has been
last week
too many times. So, yes.
So I have two. So I always used to say, like, it wasn't Christmas until I watched Home Alone.
Yeah.
I know every word to that movie.
Wow.
But also, I mean, like, it's playing in my head right now. But also The Holiday, the one with Cameron Diaz and Jack Black and Jude Law.
That one is cute.
I love that movie. I introduced that to my kids this year. Okay. And The Last Holiday, the one with Queen Latifah.
I've watched that 3 times.
Fantastic. Those are probably my favorites. And of course, Christmas Vacation. I think we've watched that like 3 times.
That is Wendy's movie. And she too knows that movie word for word. I've only seen it once this season, I should say. Oh,
I thought you were like, I've only seen it once. I was like, what?
No. I've only seen it once this season, and I laughed myself.
It doesn't even matter that you know what's going to happen next. It's still funny. Like, that's classic comedy, right? If you've seen it that many times and it's still funny, that's good comedy.
I didn't realize how funny like Julia Louis-Dreyfus was even then. Like perfect. Like perfect.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Josh? Besides Die Hard, what is your?
Well, I mean, to go with Nicole, I mean, Buzz's girlfriend. Woof. Buzz, I'm going through your stuff. Better come out and pound me.
Yeah. Woof. Yes.
My go-to. My ex laughed about this last week when we were at a hockey game, but she goes, "Enjoy watching Emma Daughter's Jug Band Christmas." That is my quintessential holiday movie. It's a Jim Henson Muppet puppet movie that was on HBO way back in the day, 1977, 78. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching it every Christmas. And so I scoured the world looking for it on DVD. And when I found it, it made its way to my collection. So that is my usual Christmas Day thing. Now I won't have my kids Christmas Day, so we may watch it Christmas Eve day. As we're making breakfast before we go do our Christmas Eve with my family. But yes, Emma Daughter's Jug Band Christmas. Look at the birds. So yes, yeah.
Okay. For me, I don't have a favorite because I'm not really into commercial Christmas. Like, I like the movies, but so I'm going to say something no one else has said: The Preacher's Wife.
That's so good.
Yeah, because I like that part of Christmas. Like the songs and all that. Speaking of
songs are the best part.
Yeah. What is your favorite holiday song? Or the one that gets you in the holiday spirit?
So Oh Holy Night's probably my favorite one. I'm not going to sing right now, so don't ask me, but I've been singing since I was like 4 years old. I always preface that when I tell people I've been singing for a long time, I'm like, but don't put me on the spot and ask me to sing. It's part of that introvert thing. Don't do it.
Okay. No problem.
But I know that we were all talking about the Mariah Carey, Christmas CD. That was the first CD I ever had.
Are you serious?
And I listened to it. Yeah, I got a CD player and that CD as my first CD, as a Christmas present.
Yeah.
I was in like 7th grade or something. First CD I ever had, first CD player I ever had.
And you wore it out.
And I wore it out. I got Mariah Carey and I got Boyz II Men, the 2 album. We're going way back. Incidentally, my first cassette was Visions of Love. I'm a fan.
So, sorry guys, but I had a record player. And this is a true story. And Clarence and Dee Dee may watch this. Yeah, those are my parents for those people who don't know. But we used to have a station wagon. And back then we did not wear seatbelts. We just kind of sat in the trunk, basically. Yeah. And
facing backwards going on the highway.
Going to, I guess it was like kindergarten, like that, not first grade, but not preschool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was show and tell. And like I said, I had a Muppet record player because I was that awesome.
I love that.
And the Sugar Hill Gang, like I've been a rapper my whole life. So like I had Sugar Hill Gang album, but it was summertime. And again, I was in the trunk and left my record in the trunk and I melted it. So like I had records like, yeah, Purple Rain album, like the record.
Listen, my mom had Atlantic Star on a record that she played.
Wow.
Yes. We need to talk. There's so much.
Secret Lovers. That's Atlantic Star. Yeah, that's Atlantic Star.
Atlantic Star is always, and
Secret Lover. That's what we are. Or is that Midnight Star?
I don't know. Cassette player. We're good.
All right. I'm sorry, Josh. What's your favorite song?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I can't. I don't know if I have one really that just sticks out for me. When you want to go quintessential holiday experience here at my church, we do Christmas in the barn.
Oh.
They have horses and a camel and cows.
You guys have like the manger?
Oh,
like a live?
Yeah.
That's like 4 Christmases. Another awesome movie.
That is a good movie.
It is a tiny little farm barn, and you walk through the animals, and we sit on hay bales, and we actually have a church service in a barn. Yeah, you are beautiful. In full on ice fishing, snow tubing, skiing garb. I mean, you are, Stay Puft Man winter clothing style.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and we have our church families volunteer to be characters in the whole procedure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that for me here locally, that's my that's the moment. It's the songs, it's the prayers, it's the whole thing.
That's right.
So there you go.
My last question was going to be your favorite holiday tradition, but I'm guessing that's yours.
That's one. The other one is.
Well, don't tell me yet then. Don't tell me yet.
All right.
So that's the last question. All right. First to last question. If you were a holiday baked good, what would you be?
Oh, man.
Yes.
Josh.
Nicole, are you thinking?
Like he's got that already.
I know. See, coming from northern Minnesota, we have this thing called Potica. If you need to spell it, it's Potica, Potica. It is a rolled hazelnut pastry, and it is fantastic. It is that we have as our treat, along with our dinner, which is porchetta, a rolled pork roast, herbs and spices. You throw it in the crock pot with some broth and then shred the thing up, put it on buns. That is my meal. Those 2 things, along with potatoes, veggies, that kind of jazz. But those 2 items, Potica and porchetta, are a Christmas staple in my house.
Okay. And what about you, Nicole?
So for me, I cook breakfast, lunch, dinner, appetizers, everything from scratch on the day of Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, I love to cook. And that's my way to like love on my family. So, and this year my sister said she wanted to do dessert, so I don't even know what we're going to do. But when I was growing up, my mom always made magic cookie bars and lemon bars.
What are magic cookie bars?
So magic cookie bars it's got a graham cracker crust, and then there's chocolate chips, butterscotch chips, coconut, and like the sweetened condensed milk. Like there's no calories amongst friends.
It's like a 7-layer bar type thing.
Kind of like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So my mom always made those. She'd make those and lemon bars.
Okay.
And then she would make this. It was called Watergate salad, but I don't know that that's really what it's called, because you know how it is. Moms make up words for stuff. But that's what she called it. But it was like pistachio pudding and crushed pineapple and marshmallows. Yes. And it just wasn't Christmas.
Is that ambrosia?
Kind of.
It's just not Christmas.
But what's ambrosia?
Until we had that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So so you would be the.
I'm gonna be the magic cookie bar. I got layers.
The magic cookie. I like that magic cookie bar. Okay.
She does.
I got layers.
All right.
Love is, or food is her love language. We know that.
Food is my love language.
I love that.
Cheese curds.
Another good holiday movie. The one where Sarah Jessica Parker makes the thing and drops it on the floor, where she put.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And the mom dies.
Yes.
And then her and her sister switch partners.
I know this. What's this called? What's it called?
Family Stone.
Family Stone. That's right.
Yes. Family Stone's another one. And she
That's
made that special
too.
Christmas breakfast.
Yeah.
Casserole deal. All right. Another one.
Hot dish, we call it. It's not casserole. Don't swear at me.
Casserole.
No, hot dish. Don't.
Hot dish.
I will get Tiffany on here and she will set you straight.
Hold out the poll. Hot dish.
It is not a casserole. It is a hot dish, and I will go down fighting anyone who wants to challenge me.
Okay, so we're gonna have to take a poll on Twitter later about this declaration. I mean,
yes.
Unlike saying anything during Christmas time or that mentions Christmas is a Christmas movie, I do not have the authority to codify hot dish into law and remove casserole. So we'll have to do a poll for that one.
Yeah.
All right. So last question. I am so gonna miss y'all when we hang up in a couple of minutes.
We can just disconnect and keep talking. We'll just keep talking.
No, I do that anyway, but I mean, like, in general. Yeah.
Anytime.
Sharing your goodness.
We're gonna have to do the battle royale with Minyard and Wendy, and we're gonna have a all screens on battle royale in 23.
Yeah, I can have up to 10 people on here.
I mean,
all right, we'll do it. All right, put that Minyard, put a pin in that too. Sorry.
She's gonna be like, I don't want to you.
No, she's gonna send me an invoice. She's gonna send me an invoice. All right. So last question. Favorite holiday tradition.
I went first last time, Nicole. It's you.
Yeah.
Favorite holiday tradition. Just having my kids here.
Oh,
yeah. They're the best. Seriously.
All right. And besides,
Emma's my favorite.
It's my favorite daughter.
You can't say that. Oh, she's your only daughter. I was like, you can't say that on a hot mic.
Yeah.
All right. And for you, besides barn church, which sounds awesome, by the way.
My mom would hate me, and since we're on a live mic, if I didn't say Christmas Eve with my mom and that side of the family. It's something that when I got divorced a couple years ago, that was the one thing that was an automatic, is that I have my kids Christmas Eve to do Christmas with my side of the family. That will never change. As long as my mom is around, it's Christmas Eve at her house or wherever we decide to have it. But yeah, Christmas Eve with mom.
Love it. I love it. So again, and I've been saying this for the past hour, but like, I have so enjoyed you guys. well done, bring out the poll, but I don't think we followed the rules because I think you're supposed to pull the poll out before you can say your grievance. But we kind of just started the grievances the whole way through. But it doesn't matter because, I do what I want. It's my show. I do what I want.
That's right.
Again, guys, let me go find it again. But follow Job Hunt Chat. They're back on January 2nd. If you don't have Twitter, I know Twitter doesn't feel like a awesome place or a safe place for people, but honestly, it's no worse than it was before.
Listen.
You know what? My take on that, I block out all the noise.
I was going to say
it's not about Elon Musk. It's not about DJT.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It is sheerly communication, connection, value information, and being people, being humble and doing what you do every day.
Yeah.
I will continue to, no matter what the medium is, continue to put good stuff out in the world, and hopefully benefit others around me and around the world. So,
all right. Yes. So follow hashtag Job Hunt Chat. Just type it in the search bar with the hashtag and it'll bring up everything. You could also follow them at Job Hunt Chat, also on Twitter. They'll be back, like I said, January 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you again, Josh. Thank you again, Nicole. Please let folks know where they can reach out to you after the new year if they want to say hey and they want to talk to you personally. Nicole?
You guys find us on LinkedIn. Find me at JRock96 on the Twitters. If you're working for a company that you want to join us on Job Hunt Chat, drop me a line on any one of these channels that you're watching us on, and either Nicole or I will connect with you.
And I'm at nrobertshr. Super straightforward. Both the end of my LinkedIn URL as well as my handle on Twitter.
All right. Thanks again, guys. Like I said, I may not be back next week. I might go ahead and take a break. So if I don't see you, I won't see you before Christmas Day. So do have a Merry Christmas. If you celebrate, enjoy your family, enjoy this longer weekend. I think some folks have off on Friday and or Monday. So enjoy your extra day off. And then if I don't see you, please have a happy new year and remember the things that we're taking with us, including, it's not always about leaving things behind. Sometimes it's about what you're taking with you. And like Josh said, we're going to take some humility. Like Nicole said, we're going to have a proactive approach to the things that we're, and anticipate some of the things that we need to do. And I just want you guys to take some authenticity and some fun into the new year. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.